Symphony is one of the most trusted cooler brands in India, and the Storm C 100XL sits in their premium desert cooler lineup. But at 13 to 15,000 rupees, the real question is, are you actually getting better cooling or just paying for the brand? So I bought this cooler, tested it properly and compared it with other desert coolers in this range. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how it performs in real life. Hi friends, I am Pooja and welcome to ClearBuy. I spend all my time buying and testing home appliances, TVs, soundbars, washing machines, air conditioners and yes, air coolers to see how they actually perform in real life, not just on paper. Because specifications look great in marketing, but what really matters is how a product performs in your home, in your room, in real use. And the goal here is simple, so you can buy confidently without wasting your money. Everything I share here comes from real testing and real experience. So today, let's take a close look at the Symphony Storm C 100XL and see whether it's actually worth the price. So here it is, the Symphony Storm C 100XL. This is the desert air cooler with an 89-liter tank and currently it's selling somewhere between 13,000 to 15,000 rupees. The first thing you notice is the design. Full matte white body, clean, stylish, ABS plastic build. Overall, it looks quite premium compared to many other desert coolers. It's also fairly tall, about 4 feet 2 inches, which is actually useful. The airflow naturally hits you whether you're sitting on a sofa or lying down on a bed. Build quality also feels solid. Nothing rattles, nothing feels flimsy. Symphony clearly put some effort into how this cooler looks and feels. Now the controls are very simple. Just two knobs in the middle. One for the fan speed and one for the swing. No complicated panel. You turn it on and it works exactly how you would expect. But since this cooler sits in a premium price range, one thing I really wish Symphony had included is a remote control. Because having to walk up every time just to change the speed or swing, it's a small inconvenience. But at this price, it would have made the experience much more comfortable. Anyway, design is nice. But the real question is, how well does it actually cool? And this is where the Symphony genuinely impressed me. I measured the airflow using an anemometer and the reading I got at the outlet was around 1830 feet per minute. Now to put that in perspective, that's actually the highest airflow I've recorded on any desert cooler I tested so far. And honestly, you can feel it immediately. The rated air delivery is 2525 cubic meters per hour and in real use it comfortably pushes air across a medium to large room. Even if you are sitting 8 to 10 feet away, the breeze still reaches you nicely. So if you are planning to use this in a hall or a big bedroom, it definitely has the airflow to handle it. Now coming to the cooling pads. This cooler uses 3-side honeycomb pads and the water distribution across them is actually very even. Symphony calls this CFD technology, Cool Flow Dispenser. Basically, it ensures water spreads properly across all pads so you don't get dry patches or uneven cooling. And from what I observed during testing is, it does its job well. So overall, when it comes to pure cooling performance, this cooler is genuinely impressive. But of course, cooling isn't the whole story. There are few things you should know before buying. One interesting design detail here is the lower system. In most desert coolers, the swing mechanism sits inside the body. But here, the left and right swing fins are placed outside the body, while the up and down adjustment sits inside. You can control the vertical direction using two connecting sticks, which actually makes it easy to aim the airflow exactly where you want. However, the left and right swing movement isn't perfectly smooth. The fins move a bit jerky and uneven at times. It's not a major issue, the air still spreads around the room, but you do notice it. And for a cooler at this price, I expected the movement to be slightly smoother. Another small thing, the lowers aren't collapsible. So when you store the cooler after summer, dust can settle inside. Some cheaper coolers actually offer collapsible lowers, which makes storage a little cleaner. Now let's talk about noise, and this is something people always ask. The truth is, no desert cooler is completely silent. This one reached around 68 dB at maximum speed in my testing. That's not extremely loud, but compared to some other coolers I've tested, it's about 2 to 3 dB higher. After a while, you get used to it. But it's definitely noticeable in a quiet room. Now the water system on the other hand is really well done. Even though the tank is rated 89 liters, during testing the cooler actually ran for about 47 hours before needing a refill. That's almost 2 full days of cooling, which is excellent. But this may vary on the place you put this cooler, your area and the temperature. They've also included a hose connector in the box. You simply attach it to the tap and the tank auto fills in around 12 to 13 minutes. There is also a water level indicator on the front, so you always know how much water is left. The pump is submersible, runs smoothly, and the cooler produces very little vibration even at high speed. And yes, it's inverter compatible, so power cuts won't interrupt your cooling. But now, let me show you a few things that I personally did not like. First, the wheels. They move forward and backward smoothly, but sideways, not really. These are not 360-degree wheels, so shifting the cooler across the room can be difficult, especially when the tank is full. And remember, with 89 liters of water, this cooler becomes quite heavy. There is also no wheel locking mechanism, which would have been helpful. There is also no mosquito net at the back, which means insects can occasionally get inside. And finally, considering the price range, I expected a few more features. Things like an ice chamber for extra cooling, remote control, 360-degree wheels. But none of these are included here. So here is my honest take. If we talk purely about cooling performance, this Symphony cooler is excellent. The airthrow is strong, the water system works well, and the build quality is solid. As a cooling machine, it absolutely delivers. But at 13 to 15,000 rupees, a few important features feel missing. And that's why I also recommend you take a look at the Orion Desert Cooler I have reviewed on this channel. It's in a similar price range, actually slightly cheaper, around 10 to 12,000 rupees. But it offers larger capacity and better features, while still providing strong cooling. I'll link that video here. Definitely check it out before making a final decision. I'll also leave the best cooler buying links in the description below, so feel free to check them out. And if this video helped you understand the cooler better, please subscribe to ClearBuy and turn on notifications. It really helps the channel grow and allows us to keep doing honest, real-world reviews like this. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. I read every single one. Until next time, don't just buy. ClearBuy. See you in the next one.